m'a fait quelque chose. Il est entré dans mon cœur une part de bonheur dont je connais la cause. C'est lui pour moi, moi pour lui dans la vie. Il me l'a dit, l'a juré pour la vie.
In Omaha fashion in the late 1960s, every shop had a unique sartorial point of view. Buyers from independently owned boutiques and department stores sourced collections from top American and European designers, then edited them with a keen eye to the tastes of the Omaha consumer. In-store advertising departments designed ads for the Omaha World Herald and other local publications. Fashions were presented in the newspaper as black and white illustrations, hand-drawn directly from the clothes themselves. Into this world, enter Mary Mitchell. Mary arrived in Omaha with her husband John and their son in 1968. Hailing from Buffalo, New York by way of Kearney, Nebraska, Mary had already worked as an artist and laid the foundation for her career in fashion illustration. In Omaha, she promptly found a job as a fashion illustrator with the esteemed Nebraska Clothing Company, also known as the Nebraska. Mary's early work for the Nebraska captures how the relatively conservative Omaha fashion scene approached the more relaxed aesthetic of the late 1960s.
In the 1960s, fashion houses were designed for the youthquake. It was the era of the micro-mini. Brigitte Bardot appeared in public wearing a transparent blouse, and hippie chic was really starting to sweep the nation. Of course, not everyone in Omaha was on board with these looks. I wanted my illustrations to reflect how people really lived in Nebraska. My client would tell me the look that he wanted, whether it was the girl next door, cocktail chic, sporty traveler, or something else, and I would illustrate and design the layouts for ads accordingly.
Mary captured fashion at a moment of flux, that point at which there was a shift from hot-edged architectural silhouettes to softer, more fluid lines. This new emphasis put the focus on texture and ornamentation rather than just structural complexity. Mary's technical skill allowed her to render the texture of a herringbone tweed, for example, or the depth of a waffle weave, or the luminosity of a sequin gown, in such a way that her readership could intuit the sensuality of those materials and understand at a glance the versatility and the wearability of the garment itself. She made each garment appear easy to wear, not just ready to wear.
While Harper's Bazaar and Vogue had the freedom to showcase the most extreme designer clothing shot by legendary photographers in exotic locales, Mary's job was to translate these looks for an Omaha lifestyle, using only pencils, pens, brushes, and inks.
There were two methods of drawing for reproduction at that time. One used a fluorographic solution mixed with India ink to obtain various shades of gray, and painting with a fine brush or drawing with a pen. The other used a number 935 pencil to draw on textured paper to obtain various shades of gray to black. Different techniques produce different effects. If you have a dress with lace on it, you used a very fine quill pen with a fine point. The way you handle the light and shade for materials and patterns depends on the amount of wash you use with your brush, dark to light. By mixing more water with a wash and adjusting your brush stroke, you can approximate velvet or taffeta or satin.
Without the use of color, Mary's extraordinary talent sculpting shadow and light on the page was essential to bringing the clothes to life.
The skilled fashion illustrator needs to reduce the architecture of a garment to its essentials while amplifying its hedonic appeal. This is no small task when the means she has to do this are a few marks of pencil or pen or brush on paper. She has to interpret the designer's stylistic signature, but to be really convincing, she must render it in her own authoritative style.
It was this authoritative style that created a larger demand for Mary's work. Wishing to take on new clients and be her own boss, Mary resigned from the Nebraska in 1972 to open Mary Mitchell Studio.
Whenever I sat down to create an ad or a drawing, my goal was to achieve the attributes of the client's business. For tops, the drawing might have been more of a cosmopolitan look, but for Goldstein Chapman, it would be youthful and trendy. I remember the owner of IU Jeans, Don Israel, telling me that his customers literally rushed into the store to buy a pair of shoes that I had illustrated. It was the ultimate compliment. It meant that I had done my job. My clients trusted me to be a reliable arbiter of my own work. It felt wonderful to be independent.
In the late 1980s, as newspapers transitioned from fashion illustrations to fashion photographs, Mary turned her attention to other interests. Not until 2010, when she revealed her extensive archive of over 1,000 perfectly preserved fashion drawings to friends Anne Marie Kenny and Mary Yoakum, did Mary consider revisiting her rich fashion illustrating career.
When Anne Marie and I saw Mary's work, we were completely awestruck. The detail down to tiny individual hairs on a fur coat, an intricate pattern on a lace jacket, we knew these had to be shared.
So we searched for the venue, and the Durham Museum, which already had a tradition of celebrating Omaha's rich cultural heritage, was the perfect fit.
I draw clothes now for the pure joy of it. Being able to add color has added a whole new dimension to my work. I've been using watercolors, acrylic paints, and pastels, and I'm loving every minute of it.
When you kiss me, heaven sighs, and though I close my eyes, I see la vie en rose.